Yes, guys, welcome back to Kings of the Bridge. How are you all doing? Hope you're all good. Big up every single one of you that are here right now. Hope you're well. I haven't put it out. I was a bit last minute, but I didn't get to share it to everyone to let them know that we're live. But ultimately, I already saw the likes and I realized that people weren't even hitting the likes. So I thought I'd just treat it as a test today, just to see how many people we can get through the door without having to always tell everyone that we're live. That's the trick. That's the test for today. And we've got 7 people here right now. You 7 people, big up to you. We appreciate your support for the channel as always, every single one of you. If you are here, please just put your little hands up, put a little thumbs up or something in the chat so I know that you're here. I can see Toby, I can see Mike's here, I can see CFC Yugs here. I don't know who else is in here right now, but thumbs up would be nice. Toby, yes, I know, bro. I know you did. It'd be good to see who else is here. We've got quite a bit to go through. It's not really a preview because we've stopped doing previews now. It's more of a, like, we'll talk a little bit about the game later on, but mainly the countdown will be tomorrow for this game. 4 o'clock tomorrow, we'll be here for the Chelsea news and countdown. Talking about everything around team news, team lineups, you know, all the same stuff. So make sure you're here tomorrow at 4 p.m. for that. Ashraf, big up to you, man. How are you? He says, who cares about River Plate now? Nonsense continues. Well, this is where we started, bro. This is where we've started. Obviously, Pies put it out. Chelsea and River Plate are close to reaching a strategic agreement for the transfer of young players. River Plate players could join Chelsea or Strasbourg, with Chelsea also sending their players to River Plate. This started with Pies. So effectively, it's just a triangle. It's like what we'd like to call a football triangle, with Chelsea and Strasbourg at the bottom of it and River Plate at the top, and them just feeding us feeding them, but them also feeding us as well. Maybe they think it's the best way to be able to move across the numbers of youth, the £1 billion that we have spent on players that we're probably not even aware of. At least they could put them through there. It's another model, another club that they can start running them through and, you know, trying to, you know, supposedly turn these good players into players for Chelsea, or even if they're not for Chelsea, the most important and big thing is profitable, you know. We are going to look at a video from Egg Barley in a minute, and we are going to look at a video from, is it Feliciano, who is the the co-partner on Clear Lake with Egg Barley. They owe 60+% of Chelsea, so they own the majority of the club. And they've both spoken recently about, you know, the process, supposedly, the plan, the idea behind why they've signed, you know, why they're doing it, how they're doing it. And we're going to listen to that very, very shortly. Why would players join River Plate in South America? It's a whole different world. Well, young players will do, Ashraf. You know, you've already got Kendry Piers, who I didn't expect to go back the other way, already over there, and they're looking to sign him now as well. Chelsea and Strasbourg supporters will march together in London next month in protest against the owners. This protest should be better than the last ones. So what, are you going to bring the whole of the Strasbourg fans that are willing to protest along with some Chelsea fans on what day? I'm assuming this is away from a match day. I'm assuming this is away from an actual match day. Really seriously, do you know when? Yeah, who actually reported that? I want to have a look at that. Who actually reported that, CFC? Before the United game. So there you go, typical. It's going to be before the United game, where all the fans, match-going fans that are out with their families and boozing up with the boys will walk past the protest, go inside, go and buy the new kit, or, you know, or whatever it is they're going to do, and then they're going to sit down, and then they're going to watch the game. They're going to get some burgers, they're going to get some drinks, they're going to get some fries, they're going to cheer, and then they're going to walk out the door like they always do. It's not going to be anything surprising, really and truly. Other than that, I mean, unless it's Super League level, unless it's not going into stadium level. I don't know. I'm still unsure with how consistent and serious this protest can be. I think Benji's going to join us in a second as well. There's 14 people here, 10 minutes in. Thank you guys. Appreciate you paying attention to the channel. It means a lot to us. Sit down and twiddle these thumbs. Exactly. Boycott the game. Yeah. Right. Shall we go into the videos? I want to look into the videos from Egg Barley and from Feliciano. Start with the Egg Barley one, shall we? Listen.
Data, background. He spends 10% of the payroll, wins almost as much, right? And is a very stable mid-market, mid-table, very profitable club, right? So I think if you apply some of that IP into developing talent, but keeping your talent, again, not subject to arbitration, not subject to, certainly subject to free agency, but the model of 6, 7, 8 year contracts earlier based on players you've retained who have market value, we think can be a sustainable model. And again, I think we worked probably in the third inning of that, of teams, leagues. All of us and others are looking at different markets, making bets in different markets. For us, Portugal's an interesting market, obviously gateway to South America, gateway to European visas. French market's interesting, given quality of the league, given frankly quality of French speakers in Africa, right? Africa we think is a big market. The Dodgers, you mentioned Todd, if they have an academy, they have a farm team in Uganda, right? So I think looking at Africa as a market with just an untapped amount of talent close to Europe, time zone wise close to Europe, we think is interesting. And again, I think we're all kind of teetering at where the surface of where this is going to go. Clearly, I think our approach was it so happened so because of a global conflict, Chelsea was available, and I think we thought we'd start with that. But I think what you've done with Blitz is not start with the large market club, and frankly build a nice network of clubs that have cohesion and to have some symmetry. Where we've seen it not work is when people are buying clubs randomly, largely because it's there and it's for sale. And by the way, even those guys have made money on it. Folks who've done that, But again, I think we're in the early days of it.
Approach.
Yeah, I think three different reasons for it. I think one, if done well, you could make money on each specific enterprise. I think what Jerry's done, Blitz, Ian, you guys have done, you bought well, you're going to make money on this specific investment. Two, if done right, if you use data, if you're thoughtful about this global market for talent and access to talent, that's not effectively done through a draft, an NFL draft or an NBA draft, or the extensive college or baseball farm system, which I would attribute as a multi-club effectively model. You can actually capture, acquire, retain, sign talent, and monetize talent. So I think there's a talent arbitrage opportunity that exists. And three, for an AC Milan or Chelsea, it's the perfect pathway, right, of developing talent, whereby you don't have to spend crazy money on payroll. There's teams in the Premier League that spend 10% of what the top 5-6 teams spend on payroll. We hired a coach away from Brighton. We think they're one of the best runs teams in the Premier League. Founder, owner is
there you have it.
Sports gaming,
And there you go. Then the what they call it? Then the cherry drops from the apple drops from the tree. And as soon as he mentions the Brighton model, which we all knew anyway, I don't really know what to say, to be honest. A lot of what he's saying, I get from a commercial standpoint, that I get what they're trying to do, but what they're doing is too much of it. Too much of this young potential, too much of this looking for youth to bring them through and produce and be profitable. And that's all we kept really banging on about, which was being profitable, being in a position that other clubs may not be in terms of profitability. He thinks by having profitability, it helps Chelsea run better. But what he's forgetting is, yes, commercially, that might be a good thing, what he's saying, in terms of a commercial aspect in the long run. But if the production that you're bringing through the door isn't ready for the now, it doesn't matter how much youth you bring through the door, you're always going to have problems by competing in tournaments like the Champions League, like the Premier League, and all of these other competitions. And his mindset is too fixed on youth, 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 Brighton style youth. Hopefully, we'll build a good team. But that good team will never be great, because the only problem with this team is that why 3 or 4 players are about to come into their primes, being with the club for a while. The other 3, 4 players that will be in their primes and be very good, and they need at least another 2, 3 seasons. So ultimately, what you end up getting, and I keep saying this, is an imbalanced lineup. You're getting imbalanced Chelsea. You're getting an imbalanced team, because yes, it's okay having some experience, but you need the additional quality with experience to get yourself across the lines in like the domestic leagues, which we've failed in for a long time. The Champions League, for example, all of these competitions. And this is where I think they're not grasping. They'll rather go out in this fourth window and sign another 19-year-old that's going to be really good in the next 5 years, but then forget that he's not ready for the now. So when they throw him into a squad like Chelsea, if he makes it into the squad, he needs time. And he might not always be available, because his body's adapting, because he's learning, he's developing in the most physical league in the world. And now we end up finding ourselves, where we are now, which is players that are ready to win things and other players that are ready to win things, but are just not there yet in their own development. And this is what's going to be the knuckle effect of Chelsea Football Club for the next couple of years. Really are. I don't know. I mean, Benji, how you doing, man? Good to see you.
What's going on, What's going on?
Yeah, I'm just trying to understand what this waffle merchant's saying, to be honest with you. You heard it as well. What are you saying?
To be honest, it's not something new. We're not gonna be surprised and be like, "Oh wow, we never knew this. We've been knowing this for a while." Um, Now here you can disagree to agree to disagree. I really don't disagree with this under 25 model. I think I've been very vocal in that standpoint. I really don't mind uh getting the best under 25s to create a super team so they can, pretty much enter the prime usually at the same age or at the same time, grow together, win, lose together, win competitions together. Cool. My only issue is when you say we don't have to put them on crazy payroll. Okay, that was number one. I was like, huh? But you have to do that to get the best. There is no way you can or you can develop someone like a Cole Palmer, for example. Let's just say we did a partial development on Cole Palmer, but let's just say Cole Palmer came from the academy. You cannot keep on developing him because and then give him a 150 his whole life. Some point he's gonna demand the 250. At some point, if he becomes world class, he's gonna demand the 300 or 350 or whatever. How good he becomes, you know what I'm saying? So you need to have some sort of a balance, in my opinion. Like you said, you need to have balance in terms of young players that are very excited and you really want to see more of them, but then they also need coaching, meaning the experienced players, they may not be world class, but they've just seen it and done it at the highest level. Someone like a Rudiger at this back line, I'm not saying I want to play him because he's really ass right now, but in terms of positioning, how aggressive you should be, setting in position, talking, just being in a dressing room and making sure everybody's doing fine. That's another step that we're missing in the squad because we're giving that role to someone that never spoke in the dressing room, aka Reece James. He's never been speaking in the dressing room. Not in the Champions League win, not in the fucking Club World Cup win. He's never been a vocal leader. You know what I'm saying? He's more been like on the pitch. You perform well and look at me. That's the type of captain he is. But he's not like like a JT, if you know what I mean. So I get where they're coming from, but it's too much financial, it's too much profit. I tried to count how many times he said profit. It was very
Yeah.
scary how many times he said profit and investments and stuff. Investment, I really don't mind because you need to invest. That's just the
Mm.
type of football we live in. But it's the profit thing, Jem.
It was like
You
about we have
see,
to always be profitable, which is what he kept
that's the
banging.
thing. That's the thing. And you can take it in two ways. You can take the profit in two ways in terms of you need to be profitable. You buy someone like a fuck do I know? Someone like a Robertson from Liverpool and he becomes world class. Cool. That can be very profitable. But this is not the type of profit he's talking about. He's talking about the profit of you always need to be profitable as a club, meaning we can skip the Champions League, but we're always getting profit from the academy, from the stadium, tickets, merch. We have big net. You know where I'm going, Jim?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know where I'm
But
going?
this is where they shoot themselves in the foot, Benji. Because why are they not getting in front of shirt sponsors, Suid? That's one of your main revenue points for profitability in terms of what you show on the books and stuff. How have we
Mhm.
gone without having a £65 million supposed year sponsor? Yeah, because from a revenue standpoint, that's shooting them in the arse. That really is,
Definitely.
because we don't sell enough. We don't sell tickets at the level of Arsenal, Man United, Spurs, for example, with their new stadiums. We don't do that. So
Mhm.
for someone that's really big about profit and profitable, having profitabilities, and the club being in a profitable position is the word that he's saying. Because by the way, when he mentions profitable position, he means he means it may look better on Chelsea, but ultimately, if we're profitable, their pockets are getting filled.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
and this is why I want to listen to Feliciano. This is his partner at Clear Lake, and he talks about his version of what we've done, why we've spent, and whatever. Because yes, they've spent nearly 2 billion or over 2 billion pounds. But Benji, when you look at that PSG game, for example, going into that game, and I know we had one or two injuries, but you looked at that bench, brother. There was 3 or 4 young players that should not be. For someone that spent £2 billion, you should not have a bench like that. That is
Yeah.
disgusting. And this is what
Yeah.
they're not realizing, because at the end, he talks about, we use all these data analytics. We use all these data centers. Some of us check this one, others of us check that one. Why don't you just look at your own fucking team and look at what you've got currently out of the 25 or 28 or whatever it is players you've got, and then really look into the depth of it. Yeah, or just look at the PSG game where you have 1 or 2 injuries, like we had 1 or 2 injuries, like we did in the PSG game. Yeah, look at the PSG game and realize that money that you spent, where did it go? Because ultimately, we had 3 or 4 young players on that bench, which should not have been on there. Why have we got Sherman Lowe on there? Why have we got Rav McQueen on there? Why have we got Maheka on there? Why have we got Derry on there? Like, why is our bench filled with reserve team players when these guys have spent 2 billion? So this whole profitable thing's nonsense, because to spend 2 billion, that's still a lot of money, Benji. That is a lot of money to get through. Do you know what I mean? As a club, it's disgusting, in my
Can I
opinion.
just can I just add something to that?
Hmm.
I just when I look at this 2 billion, um, that's listen. The protectors of the Clear Lake of the project is gonna say, yeah, it's 2 billion spent, but look at the net. The net spend, it's gonna be much less. Yeah, but it's still a billion. And if you look at what you actually can do with a billion, really don't mind, because Jen, majority of that billion comes from investment, just buying loads of players and sending them on loan. That's mainly it. A small portion of that billion is basically to the squad in the first window that we did. That's pretty much that billion. My only issue is you've had 2-3 years now. It's the fourth. Is it the fourth
Full
window?
summer window,
No.
yeah.
Yeah,
Full.
it's the fourth. Yeah, it's the fourth window. You're telling me Garnacho and Neto is your starting left wingers. You're telling me. I was always on the João Pedro train, so I'm not gonna say João Pedro because I was the one glorifying how good he was and how good he actually can be. Now he over exceeded expectations. Cool, but Liam Delap took one hell of a big step. You're telling me Liam Delap is your backup striker when it should be someone someone, João Pedro should actually be the type of backup striker we are having right now on the amount of goals he has. That should not be your leading striker. You should be having someone like an Osimhen leading the line in terms of how lethal he is in the air,
Yeah, yeah.
pressing, ball striking, holding up the ball. He may not be excellent technically. Now that's where João Pedro comes in. You have a little bit of a blend. But you have someone that's elite in one aspect and then someone that's elite in another aspect. And for me, you need to have that in every single position.
Mm.
Since the
And we
beginning
don't.
of Chelsea, yeah, that's the thing. Since the beginning of Chelsea, we've always been having one that's absolutely shit on the ball in midfield, but does the job. And then we always have been having one that's absolutely elite technically in the midfield. Throughout since Jose came in, Ancelotti, fucking AVB was the interim manager, won the Champions League. We've always been having one that's very good and one that's supposed to be doing the dirty work, if I may put it in that term. Now we don't. That's the most frustrating things. When I look at the whole team, I'm like, we don't have one receiver that's absolutely great of a defender next to one that's very dominant on the ball. We either have two ball
Yeah.
dominant defenders or two dog shit over defenders. It doesn't make any sense.
That ultimately doesn't make sense. And that's where, big up Matt, I know she's got it now, but we just watched the Egbali interview just quickly. We're going to go on to his co-partner in a minute, which is a little bit long, but we'll stop and start it as it goes along and talk about it. But Mike says here, Matt, that the model isn't even a bad idea. It's the execution of quality that's the issue.
Yeah, it's absolutely right. Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely right. I mean, it is the right idea. Of course, you want to buy young and exciting prospects, but you don't play with football. Football has been the same and since it's probably been invented. You have to have experience with youngsters who then can grow into the game. You don't just go, right, here's a load of youngsters and see what happens. Look what happens now. And then you got this idiot Feliciano coming up in a second. So
well, let's listen to him, shall we? Listen to Egbali talking about profitability and how great Brighton's strategy is as a football club, and this is what you've got to do, youth and everything. And let's see what he says, because he talks more in depth about the money that has been spent.
And now for my question. It's been a very interesting journey. You guys have spent over £1 billion on player transfers, already overhauled one management team, started the season without a sponsor. Is this was this harder than you anticipated, owning a football club?
So we own probably about a dozen businesses at Clear Lake that are larger, than Clear Lake.
Than
Chelsea, sorry. And in many of those, we actually are undergoing even more significant transformations, right? Where we have change management teams, et cetera, and they tend to be enterprise software businesses, packaging companies, automotive aftermarket. But you don't ask me about those because you don't care.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. None of that's got to do with sports businesses. All of that is just your standard business industries. You know what I mean? Outside of sport, he's talking about fucking stuff we don't want to hear. But this is what he's about to say.
About this.
And your investors care.
And nobody, and they don't get reported by the Telegraph and whatever, the Daily Mail every day. I think it has definitely been, sports obviously occupies a unique position in our society. I think the evolution of the business of sports has been fascinating. Obviously, we have seen, kind of media or sports as media and content, and the buyer for that media and content, evolved dramatically over time. And today, you have basically not only the traditional kind of media players, you have cable, you have now the streamers, Apple, Netflix, Amazon, etc.
Kings of the Bridge, you prick.
And you see that probably most develop in the NFL, right? In American football, where the monetization of that content is actually nothing but extraordinary, very efficient. And the value of the league, the value of that content, the value of those teams then has skyrocketed. And we're seeing similar trends here in Europe, particularly the Premier League. Let's not forget, right? The Premier League was founded 30 years ago as a function basically of precisely what we're talking about. It's a way to pool basically, kind of the content of the league and eventually sell it, initially to the satellite providers, Mr. Murdoch and others, right? has been a fascinating investment. Yes, the team had a tough season. Our first season, we have a tremendous amount of talent. Some of the numbers that you just mentioned are true, but you also not mentioning that we also sold $500 million of players, right? So I think what we're trying to do, and we reduce the salary and essentially the OpEx of the business by over $100 million per year. So I think
Did that go well? Dropping everyone's wages and getting players that you can't afford, are not getting players that you couldn't afford because you wanted to drop it 100 million odd pounds. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, cool. Yeah.
The formula is kind of simple, right? We bought an asset in a very unique situation, given the sanctions with the old owner. We bought an asset that is very coveted by many other types of buyers that were not able to participate in that process. We bought an asset that I think could be better.
Really annoying me that he keeps saying asset.
Why does he keep saying asset?
Really fucking winding me up. But ultimately, I know what this is to them. They don't have that in there. It doesn't mean anything here to them. To them, it's just business as usual. Like he said, we've got other entities that are bigger than Chelsea, but it's just
Chelsea's just an item, a blue chip part of their portfolio, and that's it. The UFC are going through the same thing at the moment, by the way. So the UFC acquired. So I can't remember. It's someone within the private equity firm who's bought the UFC out, and their job is they have no knowledge of fighting or anything. And I don't know if anyone's interested in UFC, but since they've got bought out and they've got this deal now with Paramount, if you look at the fight cards and everything, they're crap because they've got their money and they're sold out. They don't have the big fight cards anymore. But what these private equity firms do, aka like Feliciano, they get a budget and they go, right, you've got $1 million to pay all these fighters for that fight card. And they will make sure it is just the most minimal amount possible. It's just what private equity firms are. They don't care about anything barring numbers. That's all it is. So what you're seeing now, it's just what he's saying here is exactly what you said, Jem. It's just basically we are a part of an asset of their portfolio.
Can I just add something to that? Their goal is not to win, it's just to make money. Because once they want to sell Chelsea, remember the price they bought Chelsea for? I think it was like 3 billion, 3.5, if I'm not mistaken. By the time that 10 years is over and we start building that stadium, they can minimum get 6, maybe even 7. I think the minimum might be 5.
Benji, with inflation, anyways, the budget, everything will.
There you go.
They'll make money anyways because how much money it is worth at that point.
Exactly. So, they got Chelsea for a cheap price. It's just about bumping up, the club. That's why, technically they sold the women's club. Why? It's because now it's not under the Chelsea umbrella. Now the men's team and the women's team is separated. So if you want to buy Chelsea, you got to buy both. Meaning more money. So yeah. It's just a lot of shit, and I agree with you, man. That UFC is also shit, to be honest.
But it's the same sort of premise that they got bought out for $1 billion or whatever it is, and now they're a part of a private equity firm, and they're doing the same thing. They're just stripping everything back. They're stripping everything which UFC was, which was massive, like cards. The UFC now. Sorry to talk about this, guys. Obviously, we'll go back to football, but the UFC is turning back into boxing, where they'll have one good main event and that's it, and then the rest of the card is crap. Whereas UFC used to be like the best of the best, the pay-per-views, and they've just gone, no, we'll strip that back and just basically you got a certain budget, you got to pay the fighters that. If those fighters don't want to be on the card, so be it. We got our $1 billion, it's fine. And that's just the same sort of thing.
Yeah, a good example of all of this is the fact that this so-called agreement that we're going in with a South American club called River Plate, because they are now being added into the mix of Strasbourg and Chelsea to be utilised as more like a feeding club, or a club that's us feeding them with all this young youth that we've bought for billions that we're not even aware of, to play over there at a supposed competitive level, which is River Plate. They're not a bad team, don't get me wrong, but and basically try and make profit on some of these players, because I say most of these players, because a lot of them are not going to make it into this Chelsea team anyway. So all they're thinking of is, we bought all these players, they can't all play for Chelsea. We've got to make sure we make profit on them, profitable. We've got to be profitable. What can we do? Strasbourg, River Plate. You heard them talking about Portugal. Wouldn't it shock me if they go and talk to Sporting Lisbon or something like that? You know what I mean? Someone
They-
along them lines. You know?
We were close to agree to get a minimal share of Sport in Lisbon about 2 years ago, but he
I know.
failed. And we were talking
Mm.
to Rio Ave. It's a club in Portugal. They played Conference League last year. I think we wanted to buy him for like 60 million or something, but that got turned down. So they talked about Belgium and the Netherlands too, but that's almost going to be impossible because the fans over there in Central Europe is too strong. It's just way too strong. But it's not only that. Let me just further one more step. Jim, you may be talking about profit. It's also about the player development. Like you said, we sold Diego Moreira to Strasbourg, knowing that he's still under the Chelsea bracket. So if we want to buy him back, this is always going to be the first club. It's about that too, and people may forget
that's what the multi-club model should be, though. It should be about development, but what they do it is a way of getting out of a shit situation by, like a Ben Chilwell, for instance. No one wanted him, and then he had to go to Strasbourg. The one thing I don't understand about this multi-club model is essentially, so say for instance, like a good example was that, I don't know, a player from Chelsea then does go and get sold to Strasbourg. Does that then mean that if there's profit on that player, that Chelsea then get that profit? Is that how does it work?
What they do is they buy the contract, so they'll buy the player and then send him to Strasbourg. And the reason they do that is because, number one, they have more of a stronghold on the player because of effectively the contract renews, and obviously if they think it's a player that they think is going to improve in the next year. Look at Omega, for example. It was a good example, right? Because we bought him. Yeah, Chelsea bought him. But ultimately, I wouldn't shock me if he was still at Strasbourg for the next 2 seasons. Just saying, right, in this moment in time. So the reason they do that is because market-wise, if it comes to a point where we don't need a Mega anymore, but there's interest around Europe because he's actually become pretty decent level and he could fit a Premier League top 10 team or whatever, we can sell him. We can sell him, but not only sell him, go back to what you said, it will go against the books of Chelsea. So ideally, from a PSR standpoint, it works for us. So even though it's a Strasbourg player, it becomes a Chelsea asset. Does that make sense? They've mentioned asset a lot. Chelsea asset. Because if he doesn't make it at Chelsea, who they think might do, but if he doesn't and he still improves and is ready for his next step away from Strasbourg, they can sell him, but the contract being tied to Chelsea, not Strasbourg, when they sell him.
Makes sense. Cool. Thanks, mate. I always get confused by all of it.
It's an asset. Yeah, it's just literally an asset.
Horrible. I really hate that he keeps saying asset, by the way. Like, it's just horrible.
Yeah.
Run. But ultimately, we bought an asset that has an incredible fan base, incredible supporter base that we respect. And ultimately, we are extremely aligned with that supporter and fan base because the best way to make that our club more valuable is to win. And to have a great product on the pitch. And that's what we're doing. So I think we're taking a little bit of pain up front.
Just a little bit.
And we like
is
to
it
win.
more pain than you expected, or is it?
It's more scrutiny than we expected. You can definitely intellectualize that or rationalize that. Yes, there's a lot more kind of focus on a sports team than there is in a kind of obscure packaging company. But yes, sometimes you have a conversation with somebody and immediately gets leaked on the press, and that's something that was fairly new to us. So I think we were ready for it, but nothing really prepares you for the reality of it. But I think we are putting in place all the elements, to do all the above. Have a sustainable business, on the commercial side, and have a great product and a great team and a great club on the pitch that's going to hopefully win and and compete for not only the Premier League but also in Europe. So go Chelsea.
And this and you bought Strasbourg, but will you look to buy? Is the plan to buy more clubs in Europe, or is that kind of the two that you need to make it work?
We have talked a little bit about the idea of multi-club models. I think there is some synergies of having multiple clubs under one umbrella. I think it tends to help in terms of everything from creating player pathways to sharing best practices, and there's certainly some benefits to it. But to be
no, the only benefit is that when you spend £2 billion on players that 3/4 of that we probably can't list, you can send them to more clubs than just Strasbourg because you can't, you've got too many. Ultimately, you can't keep sending players to Strasbourg. You're going to need another club and another club to keep moving the players around so that they can develop, like Benji said, so that they can develop. And then the ones that are at River Plate and Strasbourg but are ready to go to fucking Brighton or Lille or Lyon or, I don't know, Atletico Madrid, Dortmund, they're actually at a position where they can go and play there and you can make money on the back of it because it's all aligned to Chelsea. That's what they do.
It's just awful. He's just the worst spokesman to be there, like, because he's just got no knowledge of football at all. Like, to me, what he's saying there, and we all know this, business comes first, then hope that the football on the pitch talks as well. He wants to do, all it is like he said, he wants it to be a sustainable business. What he should have said first was, we need to have a winning team on the pitch. That's what a proper owner would do. Whereas what he's saying first is a sustainable business first, then hopefully getting a team which is dominant in the Premier League.
And you know what? I'm glad you said that. You've brought something to my mind, Matt. This is the big thing, right? When these owners were buying players that we thought were being bought for Chelsea, we're thick. We're so dumb. They weren't being bought for Chelsea. They were being bought to go to these sister clubs of ours so that they can sell them on. They had nothing to do with Chelsea. They're just buying them, making it look like it's for Chelsea. And ultimately, we know now that they're not for Chelsea. They're just going to fucking go wherever they're going to go and they're going to make money on the back of it. And ultimately, the biggest problem with that is from a profitability standpoint, it's fine to do that. But if you're not winning things because you're not investing back into the main product, which is Chelsea, to make it a machine so that it's winning constantly, and we're building up this domestic, continuity and winning leagues each and every season, then what's the point of having all these players? You can't have all these players and may be profitable, but 30 years down the line, you still ain't won the Premier League. How stupid you look. Oh, yeah, but we're a well-run club. We're profitable. But what about Chelsea? Yeah, it's really profitable. But what have they won on the pitch? We tried. We thought some of these young players would be good, but we're just going to keep going. That's it.
This is why. I've been saying, you see all this marching shit. You can do it, but it's not really gonna change now. It's not. We've only been under this ownership for 3 years. They have 7 more years minimum to run with this shit. And I was just about to say this. It is trafficking because remember, the loans internationally moving forward is only gonna be to the sister clubs. You best believe. For example, the Disassis and the rest of the Deadwood, they're gonna try to loan them in the Prem. Academy in the Prem. Now, the players they buy from the outside, the South Americans or the Belgians and I don't know, the Africans, that's to the sister clubs. Because you only have, I think it's 5 slots for the internationals. They're gonna make sure, we only have the best 5 that's gonna go out, play some football. Now they can come back to Chelsea, and they're just gonna redo it every single fucking year.
But I'm gonna ask you guys then. So if you actually think about the loaning policy, which out of the players that we've done, which are not in our sister company Strasbourg, have actually worked? What, Chukwuemeka? That's it. Where else has it actually gone? And we go, do you know what? They've gone on loan and then they bought them. Matson, we couldn't even get 30 million from Dortmund. That should have worked. But I'm trying to think what actually worked.
Yeah,
there's not actually been any loan players where we've put them on loan and then we've gone, actually, we can make some profit on them that way. Really?
The ones that we had that were on loan that were half decent are like Santos, for example. He's at Chelsea.
Yeah.
Look at when he went to Forest. Do you know what I mean? Like, it just, it's only because he went to Strasbourg that he did well.
People say Leslie, but he kind of not. He's not really.
He went to Southampton, didn't he?
I don't know.
Leslie never worked. We bought Leslie for about 30 million.
That's a shame. I thought there was potential there for him. It was just there was too much traffic in front, as well.
Definitely.
There was potential there.
Yeah.
Let's finish this off.
To be frank with you, I think we're still in the early innings of those models, right? There's only probably maybe 3 or 4, kind of more well-developed multi-club, kind of entities out there, kind of the city organization, Red Bull, a few others. So still really early days, kind of implementing that. And theoretically, there should be some benefits for every club in that type of system. But I think you also have to be very, very careful, right? To respect the local fan base, to respect each club. These are clubs that have a lot of history, that kind of are integral part of the local communities, and you have to be very careful to just think about that as financial assets.
Isabel, are you guys going to ever buy a football club at AXA?
No, despite the fact that I've heard about football for 30 years at home, I still don't understand anything about football clubs, so it's probably not for us. I prefer
Very
Cinema
sensible
Studio. So that's why we have invested.
Who the fuck is this
in
French
the-
bitch?
Also, very good fundamentals, but something.
Fucking sense though. She went, I have no understanding of how to run a football club, so I'm not going to invest in one. She's the only sensible one on that panel.
I think she was having a dig at them, to be quite honest with you. She probably he sat there for 4 minutes listening to him talk about Chelsea. I went, that makes no fucking sense.
But it doesn't, Jeremy.
That's the owner of
But it doesn't.
Want to invest in a
That's
club.
the owner of AXA saying that. Do you know what I mean?
Bro,
That is embarrassing.
Spoken for 20 seconds, and she spoke more sense than him for 5 minutes.
like, bro, like, come on. Come on. That was actually funny. I was like, what the fuck?
She
Just took a
just
turn.
kind of over. She went, nah, we ain't got no interest in football. I don't even understand it. Like, literally, like.
No.
What else did it? I think it's finished, but let's have a quick look.
So she's
This is
spending more per year in the Premier League than I am. I
There you
think
go.
Not
that's
sure,
it.
right? Fair.
There we go.
fair.
And I'll make a deal with Jose. When he starts wearing the socks of the packaging company, I will ask only about that.
That's true. AXA have been around the Premier League for ages, so she should have some
Yeah.
sort of understanding of what it is. You know what I mean? Like, it's embarrassing, boys. Either way, I still don't. I want to give them. I've been wanting to give them the opportunity to show, because I am a very visual person. As fans, we can only go on what we see, right? What we see in terms of what they do and how they view it to the fan base, right? But for me, it's becoming very hard, Benji, to look past this fourth window, knowing that we could potentially have. It could go a bit pair up, and it could be another third window, just because of certain individuals within our board just not really being trusted to make the right decisions for the now. It seems to be always the case, like they're going to go out in the summer window and go, right, who's new, who smells fresh, and let's go and get him. And they're just walking around trying to find these random clubs with like semi-good players. Like, who's that player we was linked to recently that we're looking at from?
Right, like Brighton were
Barco.
interested as well, weren't they?
No.
El Mada.
Yeah, who
Amada.
the fuck's this guy now? You know what I mean? Like, where do
No, he's a good kid. Like, Jim, don't get me wrong. He's a very good left winger. But if you don't have an elite left winger that he can learn from, there's no point of getting him. Why the fuck should we get? Matter of fact, that's 3 left wingers. How much money is that gonna be? 140 million on 3 players. And don't even let me get started on Gittins. Garnacho is just gonna be Garnacho. And then this kid? No, please. Like,
You could have got Cavascalia and then Quenda for that price, probably.
That's a good
Or
point.
less,
there,
or less.
What
that's
he said
even
there-
less, just so you know.
Yeah. What he just said there is true. I remember this conversation when Rain Group were choosing the correct owners for Chelsea. If you remember back then, they made it very clear that any US company would not be able to sell to any US investors for the first, is it 10 years? I'd like to think it was. It was the first 10 years of owning the entity that they weren't able to sell their shares to investors from the US to help grow which I don't know why. Don't ask me why. But ultimately, it is. I remember that. I do remember that.
I guarantee you, when the whole pitching process was going in, obviously, you had the
62 million.
you obviously, we had Todd Bowley being the face of the bid. I guarantee you, if we all heard that there was going to be a private equity firm was going to be the one to take over from us, and it was going to be just asset management, we would have protest like we did for who were those other guys who were going to potentially, and that was what protest you went to, Jen.
The Ricks, yeah.
I guarantee you we would have protested the same, because there was no way in hell we would have gone, we want to be run by an assets private equity firm. There's no way.
Yeah, it was a consortium at the time.
And whereas obviously how we were sold, it was Todd Bowley, the co-owner of the Dodgers, a big winner, and the Dodgers with the players that they've got, the money they've invested. We were all very much like, yeah, we're on board with this. But I guarantee you, if we found out Clear Lake were the ones who are fronting it, not Todd Bowley, we would have probably protested the way that we did with the Ricketts.
Definitely.
Sure. So I don't understand how that's actually been allowed, though, so that they have Todd Bowley fronting it up, and then we all of a sudden we find out actually he's only got like a 13.2% share with some of these other guys, and I don't know, it's just a mess.
Well, you got this picture here. I didn't even know this was going on, but there's been some small protests in and around the football club at the moment.
I didn't know if this was real or not. I thought this was just old footage, but
is it old footage? No, it just say Winstanley, Stewart, and Shields at the failing model and strategy, no accountability. Egbarley, Winstanley, Stewart. Is this AI? I don't even know. Pies has put it out though, so obviously not.
Well, it's just weird because would there be people and stewards around at this time of the day?
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of people around. It's like a match day, so it must have been a little while. It must have been maybe last game or something from the owner to a investment company. Yeah. I don't think they can do that, to be fair. But so they've confused this model so much that they've made it very hard for us fans to even understand what the fuck they're doing. Like I'm trying, Matt, to understand their logic, like what they're, give them the benefit of the doubt.
Because you're being an adult about it, mate, and you're thinking, well, yeah, there's got to be, they're in this position for a reason. They know what they're doing. There's surely a method to their madness. But the more it goes on, the more you're just like, I can't protect you anymore. Like that, like anyone had to protect him anyways, but there's just nothing there now. Like it's so in the open and so exposed about what everything is. And I can't believe it's taken so long for many older match-going fans to realize this, but I genuinely do think that result on Wednesday or Tuesday, whenever it was so bad for the look of the club. I think it's really going to turn a lot of fans against them now. And I think you're going to see it a lot more now that fans are going to go early and things like that. And they should as well. That's the only way you're going to get a reaction out of them. These protests are great. I respect anyone who's doing them. And I know it's cliche to say, but the only way you're going to make an impact, and I think it's an impact is more visually when you're not in the stadium, you're seeing the stadium empty. I remember that game on Tuesday. I've never seen Stamford Bridge look empty like that in the 70th minute, ever, in like my time supporting Chelsea. And I'm glad they were there to see it. I'm glad they were there to witness that. I was glad that they heard Roman Abramovich chants. I'm glad they heard when Tosin came on, there was booing. This is all on them.
There is a organised protest. I see it earlier on between Strasbourg fans and Chelsea fans just before the Manchester United game. Apparently, they're going to be combining together to protest against these owners. So two sets of fans owned by one consortium sharing their faults, which is going to happen before the Man United game at home, supposedly.
But I think they almost thrive in this, though, because what they'll see this and go, no, these working class people don't understand what we're doing. Like it's just an arrogance. Like you're even hearing how he's talking. He's thriving. That guy. He is thriving on the fact that people are questioning and undermining what they're doing. They love it. Like they live for these sort of things, and it's just crazy how. Arrogance is getting too wild. It's getting insane.
Man, these niggas couldn't fucking give a shit. If respectfully, but we don't have that much money. I promise you, if I had that much money, I wouldn't be giving no fucking shit what a working class type of motherfucker has about to say. That's what I'm saying. So that's exactly the point. So I'm like, I'm just like, yeah, we can protest, but I promise you, it's not really gonna change now. It may change later, but it's just like they're not gonna give a shit unless it goes absolutely south, and they may change it.
Well, I always say this about United when they actually somehow got on the pitch and stopped a game from being played. That's like possibly like the worst thing to happen, right?
Yeah.
And they still were in the ownership. They didn't go, oh, we're going to leave now. And it got to that level. So you're telling me that a couple hundred fans might turn up and do whatever. They'll laugh at it because they'll go, oh, there wasn't enough there. I don't know.
That made me laugh, I did. When they was talking about all the software companies and pet food companies and all the companies that they own. They had nothing to do. owner of
Nothing.
a sporting football club. It had nothing to
It's
do
just
with it.
data, bro. It's
Yeah,
just
but those
data.
sort of companies, that all those like those companies in short term, that's all logistical. It's all about logistics. How much this worth and the food chain to do this, and they just treating Chelsea as a logistical firm. They're going, right, we're going to bring this player. He's going to then funnel to go to that club. Okay, if it doesn't work, then it will go there. And they just see it in that way instead of literally, actually, the talking is done on the pitch.
Cool story, Muffin, correct? Whatever, man. Go and do your thing, innit? Like,
Smoke
you think my Chelsea fans care about Man United fans? Please, like, generally, respectfully. See you later, mate. Like, I mean, if I was in the mood, I'd be using my tone of voice that Benji uses every second, you know. Lucky Benji ain't said anything. Thank you for going at your money we'll spend. Well, you gave us the money for the amount.
Yeah.
So, you can say as much as you want, but you guys have been bent over by us many times in the past. So, just a heads up, you know. Big up to you. We talk about, like, obviously we're doing the countdown tomorrow anyway, guys. Make sure you're there for that one. 4 p.m. tomorrow. Team news. You know, hour before the game, talking about the game, what to expect, away against Everton. This is our run of games, guys. We've got Everton, Vale, Man City, Manchester United, and Brighton of our next games running to the end of April. Where do we? I don't even know how to feel anymore when I look at us on the pitch. I mean, what next? I guess, guys. What's next?
Well, I'm going to get it up in a second, but I'm going to get up in terms of that predictor thing.
Yeah.
So, and then that'll. I mean, it's going to change. It's changed completely since the last time. Obviously. Where is it?
Yeah, bring it up. Let's have a look at that. But Benji, talk more on the 5 games we've got coming up, man. Everton, Port Vale, Man City, Man United, Brighton. What are you saying about these games, man? Are we going to find some sort of continuity in some run of wins that we need?
I believe in this team. I do. As much as I hate to say the bench looks absolutely garbage, some key players are starting to come back. The likes of, I was about to say Liam Delap, the likes of Estevals and the Levi Coles is starting to come back finally, starting to get on the ball and get fit. Yeah, exactly. Lavia is becoming more and more fit. So that's good to see. Isuga's coming back. So a lot of people in the squad is coming back. The only thing we can do is just score more goals. And I've been saying this since the start of the season. We're never gonna outclass a team and just hold a defensive clean sheet in the 3-0 manner. It's almost never gonna happen. Maybe once in a blue moon. The only way we can win is actually to outscore teams, and that's gonna happen.
I was just about to say, Jem literally says that every time. For the rest of the season now, the only way we're going to win is you literally have to outscore the team. Like, we're never going to. I don't think we're going to keep clean sheet now.
But that's the only way, man. That's the only way. Look at this defense. Usually, when you're an attacker, you look at one defender, you say, "Fuck, I'm gonna have one hell of a game." like in terms of fuck, I'm actually scared. Like JT and I have Ashley Cole on that side. Oh fuck, this is not gonna be good. What? How do you feel when you look at Josh Achampong, Sar, or Chalobah,
I would have loved to have played against Toast.
Bro, if I was an attacker, I would have been like, "Oh, it's a feast! Oh my god!"
It's like that meme. Oh, I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting.
Exactly. Like, no one is actually getting scared. Like, you may be a little bit more scared of the attack. Our attack may be looking at defense and be like, "Oh, you know what? Yeah, it's gonna be a good game today." Now, the defense don't say the fucking same. Like, it's like two North Poles going together, but they just pushing each other off. It doesn't work.
Well, it doesn't help when you're seeing Fofana. He's probably going to be laughing on the pitch the whole time. So,
well, that's where I want to start. Obviously, we'll do this in a second with Matt, but like, no Chalobah means that if Fofana hasn't got a headache, he might take one place. But outside of that, it means we're going to be relying on Badiashile and Tosin.
Nope. No.
Well, we're going to have to because I don't see Mamadou Sarr in every game. I'll be honest with you. He had an absolute stinker, by the way, and he shouldn't have been playing. We should have played a back 3, in my opinion. And that PSG game was stupid anyway. But ultimately, He's not in the greatest of form. Rossinha might do what he did with Santos now and drop him for a couple of games, which means he'll go back to tossing because he'll think, oh, I need leaders, tossing. And then tossing will come on the pitch and show him why he should never be on the pitch in the first place. You know what I mean? And it'll be too late because we will lose, especially against Everton. I can see that happening.
They look good. They played really well against Arsenal. And actually, when we played them previously, if they took their chances, and I think that was one of Rossinha's first games, by the way, like they actually played well against us as well. They were unlucky to not get a goal. So, yeah, I'm not looking forward to it.
Newcastle considered a move for Delap with suitors feeling they deal for Chelsea forward. I'm not even reading transfer news now. I don't know what we're talking about.
I don't give a shit.
You know, Kunde calling Neymar a YouTube footballer is nuts. I mean, I'll be honest, I've been very I don't want to go into the whole thing, but when it comes to Neymar, he's a good player. Don't get me wrong, he's a top player. But I do think he's overgassed, and I don't think he's as good as I do think he is. But ultimately, you know, whether it pisses people off or not, that's just my opinion on Neymar. Like, you know, what Neymar should have done. What Neymar should have done is stay at Barcelona and not go PSG.
His career went downhill when he went to PSG because PSG at that point, they're all about big names and that's it. He should, if he stayed at Barcelona, because I couldn't believe it. He was only at Barcelona for 5 years, by the way. Like Enzo's been at Chelsea for 4. So if you think about it, that's gone so quick. It's only saying like Enzo Fernandez has been with us then for an extra season afterwards, and then that's it. It's crazy.
He's at Barcelona. His best years for me. He was good at PSG, by the way. I don't want to get into it because it's not a Neymar debate, but he was good at PSG. Ultimately, I think the injuries caught him, and he kind of like after that kind of just steered him away from being where I would have potentially put him in terms of the brackets of elite players to world-class players. So I say, in terms of prime, if we're talking about prime for prime, you can't argue. The guy was ridiculous. Like on the ball on his day, he was ridiculous. It's not even a debate, you know. But so was Eden Hazard, for example, you know, another one that was unbelievable on his day. So, yeah, let's not get into it. We're not having a Neymar discussion before Benji starts saying he's the best player in the world that he's ever seen in his life and stuff.
No. I was not about to say that. When you just say he's overgassed, nah.
When I say over, I don't mean he's like. I don't want to get into this, but I've always looked at him as a player that's been very, very good. I just don't think he hit the levels he should have.
Yes,
that's the way I look at it with Neymar.
Okay, yeah. If you said that, then yeah, I agree.
And that's why I said in his prime for prime, great player, ridiculous. But in terms of longevity and what he's done, I don't think it's that impressive.
I do feel when he's played against.
Go ahead, man.
No, you go on, mate.
But if that's your argument, then R9, then a lot of great plays are not really great.
He is great. R9's great.
Yeah, but R9 didn't last. But R9 didn't last that long. R9 was mainly 98. Mainly.
He had his period at Real Madrid. He had his period at Inter Milan.
Yeah, but both you and I know Real Madrid wasn't really it. His real time as a big baller was at exactly. Yeah, you know, when he won the Ballon d'Or 17. Yeah, that's the type of R9 I'm talking about.
No, but if you talk about legacy with R9, you can't talk about legacy. That's the problem. However, if you're talking about best players that you've ever seen on the pitch in their prime playing, he would be at the top, wouldn't he? In terms of what he can do as a striker. Because for me, R9 could do everything. And he was that good. He could fucking beat 3 players and hit from 30 yards out. He could run one-on-one and lob the goalie. He could
but it was also injuries. That's
what I'm saying. But with Neymar, like, let me give you this. Ronaldinho. I love this comparison, right? Okay, Ronaldinho was more skillfuler than Neymar. Do we agree?
Yeah. Nothing wrong with it.
What's Neymar's biggest trait to his game? Let's just say
dribbling.
So so he can't be the GOAT of Brazil if he's not better than Ronaldinho. What he's meant to be his best trait.
No, but he's not. No one is saying he's better than Ronaldo. Wait, have people seen it better than Dino?
Well, some people do, yeah.
No, absolutely not.
Do you guys think it's because when he's played against British opposition, he's not really ever played, especially in the Champions League? I can't really remember there's been a time that he's kind of gone, oh, geez, that's the Neymar who's like the dangerous player. So maybe it's like a British media thing, though, as well. Like anytime I've seen him play against British opposition, it's not really been like that outstanding player. Because I remember anytime I watched, I mean, I'm sure people aren't comparing Ronaldinho, but anytime I saw Ronaldinho play, I mean, look what he did to us. He just destroyed us, dismantled us.
Definitely, yeah.
But
anyway, going back, I don't want to get into the Neymar talk again. we could
go
on.
Enzo Fernandez is better than him anyway, so
we could talk about it for the World Cup though, Matt. I was thinking why we've got World Cup on the mind. Obviously, we'll talk to the people on the Discord and get them really ready for it. But I was thinking of doing whoever's in, like, let us know who's involved in a competition where you'll get one or two international teams, and you have to stick with them. And the one that gets to the end or gets to the final and wins the competition, sort of thing. So you do spin the wheel of all the countries.
It'll do like a draw for who gets who. That'll be quite cool.
Who gets who? Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be cool. Yeah, maybe it'll be for a giveaway.
Maybe for a giveaway, yeah. No, it will be. I'll do the giveaway on this one. So we'll do a giveaway. It'll be some sort of retro, your choice, retro, old school, or
it could be a retro international shirt.
International kit. That's what I was about to say. Yeah, retro international kit. Yeah.
I'd be going for Netherlands, retro Netherlands kits.
Yeah, that one's banging.
Chris, you right, mate? I see you down there.
Yeah, what's going on, boys? You good?
There he is.
All right, mate. Not bad. You good?
Yeah, I'm all right. Yeah, literally. What's been going on today? Because I've been away from my phone all day.
No, not much, mate. We're just waffling about these owners, as you probably saw in the chat. And
yeah,
we're not really talking much else on the game. We're doing a countdown tomorrow at 4:00 for the game where we'll talk more about it. But yeah, just an overall really today.
Yeah, no, I think it just shouts profit and sustainability over the club and what we want. What we want to achieve. They've come in and separated the club from being on the pitch and being a business. That's all you hear is about being a business. They want to make profit. They don't care how they do it. They don't have any regard for us or the players. If it works, great. Which obviously we've had a few players which have come through and been, mainstays for our club. You look at Enzo Fernandez. We don't want him to leave. We love him. I know, Jem, you absolutely love him to the death.
No, I don't. I don't like him like that, man. I think it's Matt's the one that loves him, right? He's Matt's guy.
Yeah. Do you know what?
Listen, I like Enzo Fernandez because I wanted him before he was even linked to Chelsea, Chris. And I don't do that with any player, by the way. I'm very fun.
That's special.
So, yeah.
Do you know what that screams to me? That conference that you just played. Do you know what that screams to me? Right. That is a protest is not good enough. It is all about hitting the pockets very, very hard.
Yeah.
That's all they're speaking about.
Yeah.
Well, it's the only way you're going to get the shareholders to be interested, let's say, to the noise. These protests do nothing. They'll expect noise because they'll go, look, we're trying to make a difference. We're trying to change. Anderson.
I'm sorry, but when people do that shit, it winds me up. You do not watch football if that's what you think. And ultimately, with your comment there, let me just say this. Why do you rate Bruno Fernandes? Is he not the one in your picture right now? Why do you rate Bruno Fernandes? Please explain. And then I'll give you the answer to the logic. But yeah, go on. All right.
Yeah, no, I think Chris is right, though. That's the only way you're going to hit them or making the shareholders aware. It's nothing about noise. They probably expect this shit PR because they know what they're doing. They know they're dismantling the culture of the club. When they came up with the words saying actually like the old regime didn't actually achieve anything, it's just nonsense. Like it's just insanity. Like they're saying it more that they didn't make a difference probably more from a financial point of view. But yeah, that's the only way you're going to make them be or have their attention made is by hitting their pockets. And I think from a PR point of view, from their finances. So these debts are getting, record debts or whatever. That's what they'll be interested in more than what's going on the pitch.
How many businesses have they got, boys?
Sorry, mate.
How many businesses have they got? Did they say 10?
They got packaging businesses. anything really. I mean, it's nothing to do with sports.
Anything outside of sport, yeah, pretty much.
So if something's not working within their company, do you think they carry on with the model?
Well, you probably wouldn't, right? Because then what would happen? Redundancies would happen.
Exactly.
Hopefully not liquidation, but that's how businesses probably work. Yeah, they would make internal changes to make sure that things change. But I think what's happened is that in their mind is that from the financial point of view, they're probably doing well. They're flipping players for profits, but that's it. I think you're going to see a lot more of this happening, by the way, in football. Like, I think Chelsea's just the start of many clubs turning into this kind of just money churning machine, and that's it.
Are we trying to buy another club as well? Or are they trying to buy another club?
Yeah. I just want to say quickly, cool story, Multimac. Yeah, there you go. Highest XG in the Premier League. Oh, let me guess, Enzo Fernandez. I don't see the highest goal contributions in the league being Bruno Fernandes. You lost, mate. You lost.
Bruno Fernandes, he looks like a rat.
Yeah. He goes, he hasn't got the same what is it? The same stats. He's 10 behind their world class, unbelievable Bruno Fernandes. So I actually like, by the way, I've liked Bruno.
Wasn't he there 2 seasons earlier as well?
Yeah, but he's only got 10 creations more than him since last year. 10. That goes to show everything, my friend. He's going to break. Yeah, that's all you hold on to. That's your cup. That's your trophy. Bruno Fernandes is going to break the record. Without Bruno, we are in relegation. How do you think we are without Enzo? Fucking hell. Same thing, mate. This is my point. Don't compare Bruno and Enzo. Trust me, they've both got such weirdly the same comparisons when it comes to their meaning to the football club. Trust me, bruv. Go on, Matt. Go on to your
get this prediction thing up. Right, so that's the standings at the moment. Really, I mean, somehow we're still involved, but United somehow are 6 points clear, which is crazy to think. Obviously, we can do it as we always do, just go through each fixture as we do every week. And somehow I think each time we're doing it, my confidence is less and less on Chelsea's results. Jem last week said that we would beat Newcastle. We didn't. So let's go for it again. So we'll go with you, Jem. What do you reckon for Chelsea's results going forward?
Lose. I'm going to do the opposite. It makes it work that way. Loss. There you go. I predicted losses all the way to the end.
Do you genuinely think losses the whole way through?
Yeah, all right, I'll be honest. Everton, lost. Man City, lost. Man United, draw.
Fucking hell.
Brighton.
I could see that being a loss, by the way.
Draw.
Fuck.
Nottingham Forest, draw. Liverpool, loss. What else is there? Am I missing something else?
They're on the ascendancy.
Tottenham is a win. We'll take that's the only win of the whole issue. Sunderland away, loss.
Fuck me. Right, Chris, go on then, mate. You can do the Man United.
Right, so I think draw against Bournemouth away. I think that's going to be tough.
Leeds at home.
Leeds at home. I think that's going to be a win.
And then Brentford at home.
Oh,
they're the home team, Brentford.
I think Brentford will do it. I think they'll throw a long throw in the 94th minute and
nice.
Yeah, I reckon they'll do it.
Fucking
so yeah, Brentford win.
Jem, sorry, just before Chris, Jem has just predicted Chelsea going to get 6 points.
There you go. Because you all moan that I always go win for everything. So maybe that will help.
Sorry, Chris, carry on, mate. Liverpool at home.
Yeah, Liverpool at home. I actually think they'll do them. Yeah, I think they're going to win that.
Lost.
Sunderland away. So you think they're going to lose against Sunderland?
Yeah, 2, 3, 4, 5-0. They'll lose.
Yeah, let's put a loss in there for the Sunderland. Yeah, although Sunderland are a bit under the decline, but yeah, let's just go. Yeah, let's give them an L. Let's give them an L. Nottingham Forest at home, they'll win that. Brighton and Hove. Ooh, I'm going to go for a loss on that one. You know.
Thing is, they'll be on holiday, Brighton anyway, so I have nothing to play for.
Yeah, but Danny Welbeck at the back post. Oof, yeah, go on, son.
Liverpool against Brighton. I see him probably winning that. Fulham at home. I'll probably win that. Everton draw. Palace. They're a bit of a weird bogey team for them.
They won't beat Brighton away. They'll draw that. I reckon.
Villa away. Draw. Brentford.
Draw.
And then Villa against West Ham. Probably. West Ham not been too bad.
They'll beat West Ham.
Win. Forest.
Draw.
Sunderland.
Win.
Yeah, they'll win that. Fulham, that could be a draw. Tottenham.
Oh, lost, mate, that one. Nah, draw.
Reckon?
Nah.
Burnley, that'll win against Burnley. Then Man City, they'll lose. Right, fuck me. This is awful reading.
This is
fucking hell.
Hey, I predicted us to literally get 6 points and be only a point off Champions League at 5th. That'd be killer. Oh my god!
No,
is this something that come out today?
That's what we are now, mate. At the moment, this is what it is.
Oh, sorry, that's what it is. Oh, we fight. Oh, right, yeah, we're well off. Yeah.
Fuck.
I can still get you Champions League, you know, maybe.
Well, that's not saying that other teams might catch up. By the way, it's only showing, Brentford. We could be screwed. And the scary thing is, Jem, I could see that happening. I could see this happening though as well. I could see a loss there.
Yeah, change it. I was only fucking around. Do what you want to do with it. Go on.
I reckon tomorrow we're going to draw. City will lose. Man United, I think we're going to lose.
No, we can't lose to Man
United. Man United don't look that bad, by the way. I think they look solid.
I think
they'll be well up for against us as well. With our centre backs for Tosin and Badiashile now, we're done. I think it's that. To be fair, I think we're fucked.
Generally, I think we're going to win every single game to the end of the season.
Imagine if that happens.
I haven't really spoken to you about this, Jem. What are your thoughts on the whole Enzo Fernandez potentially getting 400 grand?
Every penny, mate. He's worth every single penny. Give him another $1 million on top of it. 1.4 mil a week should be giving him. No, I think it's ridiculous. No, I mean, it's probably including bonuses, right? So he won't get 400k. People do this. It'll probably be like 280, 260, 250. I think he does want to be in the 200s because if you look at Reece James's new contract, he's getting 300,000 a week now. Reece James.
Because we found out that he was on 180
grand. What? Excuse my pardon. What?
Listen, the best player in the world, right back, man. What are you talking about?
Wait, hold on. Shit. You say what?
300k a week for Reece James' contract.
Is it? Is that with bonuses though?
I don't know.
Is that
maybe
flat?
You guys already forget he was on 250 already.
He was on high wages.
Yeah, he was.
Couldn't give a damn. 300 for a fucking.
I thought he took a pay cut. I thought he was
he was on 250 and they've moved him to 300. Whether it's included bonuses or whatever it is, it's a 300k a week contract given to him.
All I'm going to say about this whole Enzo situation is that obviously I want him to stay because I think he's crucial to Chelsea. But I do believe that if we do reach the levels of what potentially they're saying, which is, I don't know, if it is 400k, okay, whatever that's going to be plus bonuses, that screams to me desperation that they need him to stay at the club.
It wasn't Graham Bailey, it was Indy Cahilia that said it. You know, Indy Bomber?
Rewarding failure. Right, okay.
Indy Bomber said 300k. We've got to listen.
Oh, yeah. What's happened to his Chelsea source? He's had to change his Chelsea source.
Apparently, Christina found him, didn't he? If you saw the press.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was weird, wasn't it? They said, we found out who the mole is or whatever. Who do you reckon that was?
Wesley Fofana.
That French motherfucker.
What are you
Joe, what? Where else you guys? I don't hate Chelsea players. I don't hate anyone. Hate's a strong word. Dislike's probably the right word, right? Dislike. But I absolutely hated Lukaku. I couldn't stand him, especially after what he did. Like, I couldn't stand that motherfucker, right? But Wesley Fofana is becoming high-end disliked by me. I didn't like him. I didn't have a problem with him at the beginning. And now with all his Twitter bullshit and then the red cards and then the laughing on the bench and laughing with Dembele after we just get slapped, one of our worst fucking losses in whatever, it's now getting to the point of over dislike because I just, you can't be paying 70 million for a prick like that, yeah, who thinks in his head he's probably justified when he's brought nothing to the table and still brings nothing to the table. He's meant to do the level up from these fucking Chalobahs, Badia Shield and all these man then why Colwell's injured, and he ain't even that level up, is he? No. Is he? Is he showed that he's that level up to you guys?
No, you can't even track Gordon, for God's sake.
Exactly. This is what I'm saying. That was a disgrace, by the way. I'm glad you said that. That was a disgrace. The fact, I know people want to stick it on Chalobah for going off to the left.
No, right? It's not his fault.
No, but he has to.
Reece James, ball watch, firstly, for ages, because he was the closest person to the player. Secondly, Wesley Fofana, you're a disgrace. You jogged. You wasn't even running. He let the guy run past him and tap the ball in without even trying to stop the pass, like trying to stop them from passing to him. He let that pass come in. Wesley Fofana, you're a disgrace.
Yeah, for a guy who likes speeding in his car and getting 3 points, he didn't speed there and he cost us 3 points. Cheers, mate.
He's almost was speeding as much as Benji. Benji, you need to come up for air, mate, when you're eating. Fucking hell.
What?
Brother. You need to come up for air when you're eating.
I'm just eating.
I eat quick as well, Benji. It's all right, man. I had a barbecue today, and I swear 40 wings disappeared in about 3 minutes. I don't know how I did it, but they went like it was banging. He's lazy as fuck. Yes, I don't like his attitude. He's lazy as fuck. He's a bozo when he wants to be. Yeah, and ultimately the bad way outweighs the good with him. The good can be sometimes he plays a good game like he did before he got the red card. He was actually having a good game before he got that red card. And then he got a red card and was laughing.
But he was even laughing when he did that.
Yeah. You know? Like, the guy just thinks everything's funny. Like,
isn't he on 200k as well?
He's on high wage. He was Holy era, so yeah.
180 or 200, one of the two, yeah.
But I think it all stemmed for me was when he actually wanted to go back to Marseille, wasn't it? Or not back to Marseille. He wanted to go to Marseille. And I thought, Chelsea have done everything for you, and then to come out saying, "Oh, I'm actually potentially wanting to go," it just shows you as a character, really. And for you've not done anything to justify even moving to Marseille, let alone, going anywhere else either.
Gerald's on you, man. Gerald's been here 2 seconds and he's on Benji. We don't want to see your food, sir. Yeah, we're talking about Fofana, Gerald. We're talking about Fofana, the fucking bitch. That's what I call him. Yeah, sitting there with a headache on the bench. You weren't even injured. The guy is sitting there going, third goal.
It's not a good look. Right, it's really not a good look at all.
Is he going to play on the weekend, boys?
I hope not.
Depends.
He's got Tostin and Badia Shield.
We don't have no choice. Do I want to have Fofana on there, or do I want to see Tostin and Badia?
No, you know what? I'm just gonna hold my hands up. But Benoit, get the fuck out. Actually,
hey,
just
thank you, Benji.
No, but no. Like when I have this Slavic guy, what's his name? Something with itch. If I'm being racist, I don't care. Something with itch. I think Vucevic, the one from Spurs. He looks very good. I'm like, whatever it is. No, not him. He's young, but he's very good. Technical LCB.
Oh, Vuskovic, this guy. Yeah.
Same shit. It's itch. It's the itch.
I don't want any player. I'm not gonna lie.
No, I would actually take Romero. I'm not even gonna lie to you. God, that's the only player I would take from Spurs.
He is just so.
Imagine the amount of red cards we would have.
Yeah, it'd be more red cards.
But I couldn't give two damns. That guy can actually defend. He may be a bozo. Remember Rudiger under Lamps?
He was crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
I love those 2-footed, but just enough to be on the ground challenges where like the player was like just like 4 yards away and he would still do 2-footed lunge. I miss Rudiger. I mean, that's what we need in this team. Someone like Rudiger.
That's what I'm saying. You need some craziness in your team, not laziness.
And used to pretend to run with his legs up here, like just like.
I love the long range shots he did.
Oh, mate, so good at that.
You know what?
The one against Brentford.
Yeah, and
when we got slapped 4-1.
Oh, was it that one? Oh, mate, yeah.
I remember we used to think that our defense wasn't all that when we had Silva, Rudiger, and Christensen.
Oh,
remember? It's actually all right.
I would do anything to have Thiago Silva back in that back line.
Thiago Silva is just Van der Ven defending it. I like Van der Ven though. I do. He's just an.
I don't. I think he's a bit of just a speed merchant. But
Benji, you have to change your name to Benji Badia Shits. But at least he admitted it after all this defending that we've seen him do throughout the season of a shit, absolute shit.
I always remember Benji's starting lineups would always have Badia shoe in it every time.
Questions, actually, you're all here. I'll start with Chris. Chris, who is your favourite Chelsea player currently, if you have one? Do you have like a favourite Chelsea?
Yeah.
Favourite Chelsea player at the moment? Oh man, it's just got to be João Pedro at the moment, isn't it? And then obviously before that probably Esteban. But yeah, I think João Pedro because he's the one that can do something. I think. Yeah.
So he's your favourite player at the moment. João Pedro's a good shout. Can't complain about. What about you, Benji? If you have one.
Really, Garnacho. Yeah, Garnacho. Yeah.
Chris got up and walked off. Chris got up and walked off his chair. He left. Chris got up and left as soon as you said Garnacho.
No, but I think Garnacho's very talented.
I can't tell if you're trolling right now. Is this serious?
No, I think Garnacho, if he just, if Garnacho just went to the gym,
if Garnacho just out the club.
No, but like I think if Garnacho went to the gym like CR7 did, and then he does a Salah, improves finishing, I believe he can be a CR7 type of winger.
Oh fuck me, Benji.
I really do.
No, you're trolling.
I know I just walked away, yeah, but like Benji has got a little bit of a case for he's not obviously shouldn't be a favourite player, but he has shown improvements. But not enough to make us do anything on the pitch. But he has shown little improvements. But yeah, Garnacho, man. Right, next.
Matt.
If my favourite player, not barring like obviously Reece, I would say it's Enzo Fernandez or João Pedro, but probably Enzo Fernandez for me. I just think like there's the DNA of what a Chelsea player is in him in terms of leadership. Like that the emotions, like especially with what's his name, Mustif, wherever his name is, when United went like 4-5-1 up, and then he was fighting for the ball when it was a penalty and stuff. If you're going to lose, go out with a fight, and like he's just got that kind of passion. I'd be gutted if he leaves Chelsea, but do I blame him? No. Matt, it was Nicholas Jackson. Yeah, I'm going to go back to everyone else afterwards. Obviously, I'm going to ask Jem who your favorite player is, but then. I didn't mind Nicholas Jackson. He was better than João.
I'm not going to pick Enzo Fernandez because everyone links me to him all the time. So I'm not going to say Enzo Fernandez. I'm going to say, this is going to shock you, but don't think this is bad. Jarell Hato.
Yes!
I can see that.
Finally, Jem. Finally.
I've got a soft spot for Hato, man. I think he's a good fucking player. I think he's going to be a good player for us. If he's shown me, even in small games, even though we didn't win him or whatever, he was our best, easily our best player against Villa away before he got taken off. Easily, hands down. Was it Villa away when he came off and then Cucurella come on? I think it was. Yeah. I like. If I'm going on like favourite, like not best guys. I'm not saying he's our best player. I'm just saying. In terms of like
who you look forward to seeing on a pitch, sort of thing.
Yeah, I want to. The reason I said Hato is because I want to see more of him. Yeah, that's the word. But what I have seen of him, I think he's a real classy player. The little flicks, the going forward, the playing of the balls, his speed to get back. I do think defensively he needs to work on it still, but he's shown some real good determination to deal with some of the best wingers supposedly in the league. He pocketed Saka, even though we lost that game, and I thought he played quite well against him. He played well against Villa when he was up against Morgan Rodgers. Was it Morgan Rodgers and Bailey? Yeah. He had a good game there. And then he played another game. I can't remember the third game he played, but he had a really good game again before he come off. And I was like, probably our best player on the pitch. Wrexham, I think it was, right?
Yeah, Wrexham. He was good.
Wrexham, yeah.
It was just absolutely
angry goal as well, isn't it?
I actually like him, man. I think he's good. He's a good player. I really do.
Yeah.
So say, for instance, what's this? I said for ages that Hato is really good. He just needs, for sure, 100%. Hato or Son.
Yeah, but you can say no. Hato is he just needs to play. No, trust me, Hato just needs to play. We've seen what Hato can do when he plays a couple games already.
Yeah, he's getting better with minutes, man.
Yeah,
and rightfully so. Rightfully so. I don't really think people understand how much I was crying for this player. I've been watching him since he was like Ajax Academy. I compared him to David Alaba. It's a very, 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 very high ceiling to touch, to be honest, because Alaba was one of the best left backs in this generation. But that's where I actually see him. I can see how to play CB, left back, overlapping, underlapping, go up to the 10 because, he's so technically secured.
You just think that system, Veggie, right? Especially this attacking system where
definitely, bro.
He's so good. I think he's better than Cucurella going forward as well. Like, when we played...
Yeah, I do. Yeah, 100%.
We played PSG, right? They put him as the left centre-back. He should have been Cucurella's position, and Cucurella should have been his position because he can get up and down the pitch, and he's got a better cross in him. He's better in the box, and he's just better on the ball, in my opinion, in them tight areas where you need to be quick and like 1-2. Cucurella's good, don't get me wrong, but like he just does all. When you watch Cucurella, what does he do? Two things: he either cuts back, which is not bad; they're usually quite effective, or he does that loop ball, which is just useless. It goes over everyone's head to the back post, and it's like, come on, man, we need someone to like just ping a ball, like wrap his foot around the ball. Do you know what I mean? Get it into the box. Like,
do you think if Cucurella was in the position that Hato was against Charlton with that half volley, do you think Cucurella would have been skying that?
No. Yeah.
That's not shot. He's got a shot on him. He's got
a bit of everything. I notice him for not. Obviously, he's got speed, but I just like how he is on the ball, and I actually like the way. I like his mentality as well. He just gets on with it. Like, you can tell, like, even when he has a bit of a bad 5-10 minutes, he kind of finds his way around it. He's only had one, maybe two bad games. One of them was in the Champions League earlier on away. I remember he had an absolute nightmare. He kept getting caught. He just had a bad game, but he hadn't played a lot of football at that point. That's what people didn't understand. He just got thrown in there and he was still learning. Do you know what I mean? But what he did in them 3 games where he come in for Cucurella made me feel like, yeah, we've got a good left back here, someone that can come in and actually cover. Do you know what I mean? And he's
Maresca never trusted him though. He really didn't give him any minutes at all. Maresca.
Good on the ball. He's just so comfortable on the ball. His passing range is ridiculous. He can.
Well, he's Dutch, of course, Jem. He's Dutch. That's one aspect you need to have if you're Dutch. You need to be able to pass the ball if you're Dutch. He's from Ajax. If you're from Ajax, you need to be very good defensively and very good on the ball. I'm not really surprised.
They're saying Lewis Hall is 10 times better now. You would not be saying that at the beginning of the season. It's only because he's had a good fucking season that people are now saying Lewis Hall is better. This is what makes me laugh. Like, it's so form-based. Do you know what I mean?
But this is also what I mean with young players. We're not going to see the best of Sarr if he's not allowed to make mistakes. We've seen Hato make mistakes, but young players need to be able to make mistakes. That's why you need some type of, kind of leadership and, seniority around them so they can learn. And, I would definitely say Hato has one of the best left backs that plays ahead of him. And we all know Cucurella is great in training. He's a great human being, great father, great husband. As far as I know, I have no idea what goes. As far as I know, you never know. He might be a John Terry. He might be a JT.
He's a great uncle. Where is it? Let's have a quick look. See what. And
whilst we're going to get that up, I'm going to ask then everyone afterwards. Because I can't remember. I have actually asked who's your actual favorite player or favorite Chelsea player of all time, as well.
I don't think I have.
I don't think I've asked anyone that before.
No, I don't think I have.
So mine's Lampard.
Yeah, that's easy. That's probably yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
it's an easy option, Jim.
it's going to be like one of them,
Casual
isn't it?
Chelsea fan. No,
Yeah,
the only
yeah.
reason I like Lampard is because I used to look like him as a kid. I just everything about him. When I was growing up, it was just Lampard the whole time. But actually, I really liked Diego Costa as well.
Yeah.
He was a
Indeed.
baller.
For
Just
me,
hard-
yeah, for me, it's two players. It's hard to split, but one obviously more than the other because I saw more of him at an older age. But for me, I can't look past Eden Hazard. I just can't.
No,
That guy was
no.
just
Yeah.
what he could do with a ball. I've not seen anyone at Chelsea do what he could do individually. And for a player at Chelsea to be loved as much as he was outside of Chelsea by rivals, just because of how good he was. Because he was the best player in the Premier League for about 5-6 years easily. He had one bad year, but,
Definitely.
yeah, on his day, everyone didn't want to play
He
against
didn't
him.
even
Like,
train
that guy
either.
could- Yeah, that guy could do
mental.
things with a ball that I honestly, it's just I still can't believe to this day. Left foot, right foot, it doesn't matter. Dribbling ability, and the second one for me is a little bit of an older player, but it was one that I really loved because I used to be a ball boy at Chelsea when I was young. I told you this story before, I think, where I was a ball boy for a couple of years, and I was lucky enough to actually be around him quite a bit. It was Gianfranco Zola, like that. That guy,
Ooh. Yeah. Ball
Magician.
Unreal.
honestly,
Magician.
that guy, I couldn't.
Ridiculous.
He was my star when I was younger. He was so good. Like again, you can probably see the type of players I like. Again, like good on the ball, dribbling, magicians in them sort of left hand or mid 10 pockets that can carry a ball. That's the kind of players I like. You know what I mean? But yeah, Zola was just he was ridiculous. Even if you ask some of the old rival fans, who's your top 3 best dribblers? Zola is always put in there by them. Zola, they will say. Zola, they'll put Bergkamp in there. They'll put maybe, and then it'll be split. If you're a Spurs fan, they'll say Ginola because he was quite skillful back in the day. He was very, very good. But then, Arsenal fans might say Henry because even though he was quick, he was very good on the ball. Henry as well, carrying it. Man United fans would say Ryan Giggs because he was a great dribbler, Ryan Giggs, back in the day. So yeah, for me it was Zola and Hazard. But I love Drogba, I love Lampard, I love Ashley Cole, love John Terry, but I look at them as like a core, like together. I don't like. Do you know what I mean? They were so important as each one of them was so important to that squad that like if you took one out. Do you know what I mean? I know we won trophies without Terry and things like that, but they were so important.
Hazard scored my favourite goal of all time, which was against Liverpool away.
Oh, that was in the cup.
Yeah, it's just I just remember where I was at that time. It was just how he scored that. It was just ridiculous. Like he was just so unbelievable. And Jem, you're right. Like,
It
was just ridiculous. But the opposition, like pundits or fans, for years would just say like he was just unbelievable, and it was just he was just ridiculous. And I think when he left, when he said, "I think now I am leaving," never felt so gutted when a player has left. When Hazard left,
who are you guys?
So what about you guys?
Yeah, who are you going with?
Favorite every player.
Yeah.
Let's go first. You're an uncle. Respect the elders.
How do you know how old he is? You haven't asked him.
I don't know how old Chris is.
Yeah, how old do you think I am, Benj?
35.
Yeah.
You really 35?
Yeah, it will be next month, yeah.
Oh, right, he's the same mold as me.
His uncle.
Chris has seen it all, like me. He's got a great variety. You know what I mean when it comes to Chelsea. So, what's he going to say?
I'm literally. I think over longevity, it had to be Frank Lampard, but seeing that guy at the bridge do some wonderful stuff, Eden Hazard was just for a guy who didn't train. And basically, if you all them players that you spoke about, the Ryan Giggs, Dennis Bergkamp, and all them players, the one thing they all had in common, they wasn't tactically chained. They were free. They were just left free to do whatever they wanted, and they created magic and moments that live in history forever. And that's why Eden Hazard, everyone, even with Conte, like everyone was like all in their tactics and knew where they had to be, but Hazard just got free reign, and that's why he had some great moments. And for me, it's Eden Hazard for on the eye, but obviously Frank Lampard is our legend, so I've got to go with 2. I'm afraid I can't go with 1.
It's fine.
Benji's going to say Garnacho and.
Benji's going to say Babiaro.
Badiashile and Garnacho.
Relax.
You're going to say Babiaro or fucking
something like that.
No. I'm gonna say one player that's actually very, very good.
Yeah, and what a baller he is, mate.
Yeah, I was actually about to, say similar guy to Essien. First of all, GT, I wasn't here last life, so I really didn't know. But I'm actually gonna say Baba Rahman. Bakayoko. No, actually, I think Bakayoko was elite.
Bakayoko.
Bakayoko was absolutely one hell of a baller.
Cameo.
It was just that Watford game. He just gave.
Be serious.
Okay, my bad. But seriously, mine is Drogba. It's just Drogba. Why is Drogba? It's because he's black. Number one. Why are you laughing, John? Why are you laughing? I'm actually being serious. No, I'm being dead serious.
No, why would you say he's my favourite?
And can I ask, was he a good father?
I don't know. Actually, don't know. No idea. Does he even have kids? I actually have no idea. I got no idea. But he was black. He was African. And he had blue. He ticked all my boxes.
True.
So that was it. And then later I discovered the JTs and the Lampards and and the rest. But Drogba for me was really it. It was really it.
You don't put Samuel Eto'o up there then as well. I know he's not a Chelsea player, but would you not?
No, but I love Eto'o. Yeah. But my favorite African of all time would be why did I forget his name? He's also from Drogba's country. Jesus Christ.
It was weird.
No. But Weah was elite too. Weah was very good. What the fuck is his name?
Lavinia.
What the fuck is his name? He did the noise.
The what?
They played for City. Oh my God, I forgot his name.
Oh, yeah, Torre.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh, he was on
Yaya Torre. Yeah. Yaya Torre is my favorite African player of all
The size
time.
of that man and how he could travel on the pitch was ridiculous.
Yeah. Yaya Torre for me, baller. Like when you speak about African players.
As well, I want to try and get off because I've got to do stuff. My next question to you, I know this is a hard question to answer, but from each rival team, who is your favorite player from a rival?
I'm out.
What, right now?
Yeah.
Is it right now or just in?
No, just all time of the rivals. Who's your would you say is the rival's best player of all time that you've seen?
In the Prem, or can it just be anywhere?
Yeah, just the Prem. The top. Just say Arsenal, Man United, Liverpool, Man City.
Ooh, okay.
Oh shit.
Can I start?
ET went Daniel Sturridge.
Yeah, go
on. CR7, Manchester United.
Yeah.
Spurs, Harry Kane.
Yeah.
Liverpool. He almost went to our club, but I'm just gonna say what the fuck is his name?
Gerald.
Gerald, thank you. Who was it? Arsenal?
Yeah.
Surprisingly, I'm not gonna say Henry. I'm just gonna say Bergkamp.
Okay.
Oh,
City?
Yeah.
City.
Yeah, me. Yeah, for me.
Yeah, I'll be quick as well. Mine was Wayne Rooney from Man United. From Spurs, I'm gonna go with Berbatov because he was
Ooh, I forgot him.
Or Dembele. One of them two.
Dembele.
Musa Dembele.
Yeah, one of them two. And then for Arsenal, I hate talking about Arsenal. It's sick in my mouth. If I'm talking about Arsenal, I'm probably going to go with Henry. Yeah, he was ridiculous. I respect Henry as a person as well. I think he's quality. Man City for me is Aguero. I loved Aguero. I'll always be Aguero when it comes to Man City. And then who's left? Liverpool, Fernando Torres.
Yes, prime. That's who I was.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Go on, Chris. Who have you got, mate?
So Liverpool, Fernando Torres. Shame we didn't replicate that at Chelsea.
Yeah.
Spurs, hate to say it, but Harry Kane, unreal. Man City was Sergio Aguero. Arsenal, for me, he just had his first touch was unreal. Robert Pires.
Mm.
He was a different. Yeah, he was a bit of a baller. Who else is there? Who else we got?
Liverpool.
Liverpool.
He did Torres.
Yeah, done Torres. So who else was there? I think
Man United.
Oh, Man United. I want to go different to Wayne Rooney because it definitely would be Wayne Rooney. But I mean, I'm just going to say I saw him in his first season at Man United against Chelsea at Old Trafford, and I was on the side, literally where he was, and CR7.
Yeah.
Like even in that first year, I was just like, them feet were just gone so quick.
Tevez was another one as well. He was fucking.
He was great. He was
Tevez
great.
was amazing.
Was he better for United or City?
Good question. I would probably say
City. City personally.
I think it was hard with United because he was around the Rooneys and the Ronaldos and whatever, but it didn't really like hinder him as a player. But if in terms of standing out, City, he stood out at City massively. It was him and Adebayor and him, I'd like to think, that are up front at that time. I might be wrong. Or was it Robinho and Tevez? I think it might have been
Robinho. I think, I think you're right.
It might have been Robinho and Tevez up front, but we're going back some time. But listen, great show, guys. Listen, we've done an hour and 43 minutes. We're going to be on tomorrow at 4:00 for the game. So make sure you're around tomorrow for the game, for the countdown. We'll be going through the team news. We'll be doing our predicted team lineups. We'll be doing all of that here before the game at 5:30 tomorrow is the kickoff between Everton and Chelsea as well, if you're not aware. And big up Chris and Benji and Matt, and as always, everyone that's here. And please make sure you leave your comments, smash the likes, and yeah, we'll see everyone tomorrow, man. Have a good evening. Take care, guys.
Good night, guys.
See you soon.